Hey everybody, Mr. Movies87 here, bringing you a new episode of Gaming Breakdown. We have a double feature for today, featuring the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Pocket. This will mainly focus on the original Game Boy, although I would say like a 70 to 30 split or so, I would say. I considered doing a separate video for the Game Boy Color, but I figured let's do a 2-for-1 special, just because, really. Yeah, the Game Boy Pocket, I mean, pretty much we all had this thing growing up, or at least a lot of us did. This thing, I can't tell you how many hours I've put into it with all of its games here. And even, I only had really a handful of games for it growing up, but that's really all I needed because I just played them all the damn time growing up. They were just so much fun. So before getting into the actual games themselves, let's go ahead and throw out some numbers and stuff here real quick for a little backstory here. Released in Japan first, as most things usually do like that, April 21st, 1989. Then North America, July 31st, 1989. And then September 20th, 1990 in Europe. This thing and its other extensions of consoles and whatnot sold like wildfire during its market life. Between this thing and the Play It Loud edition, the Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Light, and the color units, sold almost 119 million units. That's a lot. And this thing, just about every household had one. Either the original Game Boy, the super ass fat one, or the slimmer Game Boy Pocket, what have you. Um, I I didn't have the original Game Boy. I had the Game Boy Pocket, and my first couple of games for it were Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land, and Pokemon Blue. Although, who didn't have a Pokemon game back then? I mean, really. And one more needs to be said about those three games: Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue. We all had at least one of them, or at least two of them, or all three of them. Battling with friends, trading with the good old link cable there. Good times back then. Just good, damn fun times. What's so cool about this also is that they're being re-released for the 3DS Virtual Console here in a couple of months. I believe in February. Um, yeah, they're coming out on the same date that the games themselves originally came out for, which I think was February. I'm pretty sure, somewhere around there. But yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Pokemon Blue was my first one. I have put many an hour into that with various save files there. Um, and my save battery on it still works. I know there are times when the batteries for those old games just die out after a while, and there are ways to fix them. Which unfortunately did happen with my copy of Pokemon Gold, I believe. But yeah, Silver still works. My Crystal one still works too. So there's that. One idea was mentioned also to Final Fantasy Adventure. My brother got that for, I believe, either his birthday or for Christmas. I forget which one. But what's really cool about that is a little added bonus they had with the game when you bought it was a full fold out map of the entire world. But it also showed you it also told you like all the equipment in the game, like the swords, the armor, the spells, the items, all that stuff there. So just a really cool little throw in there. I loved when games did that back then, either like the fold out map like that, or excuse me, like a mini strategy guide of sorts, just little throw-ins like that. Nowadays we have DLC, so yeah, yeah. I just miss the classic times of all that. I mean, I'm a classic guy at heart, and I always will be. So there's that. Um, oh yeah, real quick also for the its launch library. It had a handful of games come out for it, like baseball, tennis, some other random ones there too. But two of the big ones, two of the best-selling games of all time, Tetris and the Pokemon series. If I have the numbers right here, I think Tetris sold like 30 some million units throughout its life, which is ridiculous. Yeah, 30.26 million for the pack-in and also sold separately because I think the Game Boy came with Tetris, I recall, if I recall. And then Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow. Let's see, about almost 24 million as of 2009. So I mean, 24 million units is ridiculous to say. And there are people still playing those games today just because they're so damn fun. Moving on to Final Fantasy Legends 1, 2, and 3. They're scattered throughout the picture here. They might be a little hard-ish to see just because I mean, there's a lot of pictures here and the little image is really, really small, but whatever, don't worry about it. But yeah, those three, I haven't really played that much myself, though. I only really know them from HC Bailey's LPs of them. I mean, I have played them here and there. I will say, just to clarify, I haven't beaten them. I've played them like scantily. I'll say. Excuse me. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, Wario Land One, Super Mario Land 3. One of my favorite games like ever. It was always so cool. That feeling back then, you're playing the game for the first time, and like you don't, well, you're still finding out where stuff is. It was before we had game facts, so with all the treasures that are out there, we had to just scour the level by hand to find each treasure there. So just a good old classic exploration of each level there, and finding a new secret and finding a treasure and building the Wario's castle to the highest level possible. I've only done that a handful of times, really, like find every treasure and build the biggest castle there. Normally, I just cruise through the game just for fun, and that game is hella fun, I will say, of course. But yeah, finding every treasure in the game throughout each level and building that super huge ass castle is awesome. Just a feeling of accomplishment back then, really. But yeah, Super Mario Land 1, which I think was also. Oh, did I say Pokemon was a launch title for the Game Boy? If I did, it wasn't. I meant to say Tetris and Super Mario Land. Those two were launch titles there. So yeah, sorry if I misspoke earlier. I forget if I did or not. But yeah, funny story with Super Mario Land 1. When I had playing that back as a kid, I would play that on my Game Boy with the warm light attachment so I could see in the dark if, say, if it was nighttime or whatever. I would play that going from my grandma's house that we were visiting, from her place back home to ours. It was about a 25-minute drive ish or so. I'd be able to beat the entire game in that trip. Like I was able to beat it like right as we were pulling into our driveway at home. Now that might not sound like it's all that fast. To me, it was back then, because I know speed runs now of the game you can beat in like 5 minutes or whatever. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I just thought that was so cool that I was able to do that just to beat it in that short of a time from that car trip there. So fun little memory of that game there. Moving on to Zelda Link's Awakening. There are two versions of that game. The normal Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, and then the DX version for the Game Boy Color there. Which one did I have? I think I had the original one, actually. Um, I think the Game Boy Color one had a bonus dungeon, if I recall. It's been so long since I played that game, and I've yet to even beat it, too, unfortunately, amongst many, many, many other games that I have either not played or played but not beaten. So there's that. But yeah, I think I got up to the Eagle dungeon, which is the seventh dungeon, and then I either got lost or got stuck or just couldn't beat it for whatever reason it was back then, and just I haven't beaten it yet. I really should at some point though. What else do we have here for our little library of games? Again, this picture here is only a very small sample of what the Game Boy has to offer. And like, I mean, like pretty much every other system I've gone over so far, it has something for everybody. It has the fun little sports games, the RPGs, and all that fun stuff there too. So, oh yeah, let's go over the Game Boy Color here a little bit. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't have any of the raw numbers here for that. And more so, I'll just go over the actual games for that, and also the console itself, of course. Um, Big time upgrade over the Game Boy Pocket. It was able to handle more colors, hence being the Game Boy Color. I know, big shock. Huge library of games. I put many an hour into that as well, with Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Um, and also a little fun one here, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Stories. Was that it for the Game Boy Color? Oh yeah, yeah. What was so cool about that game was that you were able to take your actual cards you had, and you were able to type the 8-digit code that each card had into the game, and use them in your own deck to duel everyone there. That was so damn cool that you could do that. So you were able to, like, say if you're starting fresh on a brand new file on that, but you already had a ton of cards stocked away like in person. Just type all those in and get you a bunch of good level 4 monsters so you can use those immediately. And then the like level 7 and level 8 monsters there, you're able to just steamroll shit extremely early on with the right cards there. And I've played that game so much back in the day, just dueling endlessly, building up a super awesome deck, putting in card info to make it even better, just playing that for hours and hours on end. And that's really the only Yu-Gi-Oh game I've ever extensively played. There's some other ones. Forbidden Memories on the PS1 I've played very slightly. Some for the GBA as well. Um, like Eternal Duelist Soul, I think is one of them. I played that here and there. It's yeah, but yeah, just a lot of memories with that thing back then. What else was there for the Game Boy Color? I can't really think of more games besides that. Um, well, I'll go back to Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Those three, well, the whole gen, I will say, is my favorite generation of all. It does beat out one for me just because of what all it added to Pokemon games that we still see today, and also the roster of Pokemon that it added is fantastic. I mean, Heracross and Ampharos and Tyranitar. Need I say more? I mean, I know there is more besides those three, obviously, but those three are bad ass. Also, Espeon. I need to mention Espeon there. Those four are so damn good. Pretty much whenever I play those games, they're always on my team. They're just so damn powerful, so cool looking, and they just steamroll shit like nobody's business. And yeah, one thing cool with Crystal, the enhanced remake of both of those games added even more stuff there. The Estria Suicune plot stuff there, its own unique battle theme there. It was just so damn cool, and I still have all three of those today as well. Although for Crystal, unfortunately, my original copy I had lost. I think while we were moving, it just got lost in translation, and I didn't get another copy of the game until much, much later afterwards. I still have that one today. Um, but yeah, that really sucked back then. Cause yeah, I went a good like 10 some years without it, which really sucked there. But yeah, like I said, I bought a new copy of it down the road, and I still have that one today. So there we go. And that should be all for that, guys. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed it. Next episode is going to be on the Sony PSP, by the way. I'll do some research on that, and that'll be coming up for next week. And with that, guys, this has been Mr. Movies 87 signing off. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.